Okay. So we have discussed dishonor in the case when the bill was retained by the drawer, and in case the bill was discounted by the drawer. In that case also we have discussed the dishonor yesterday. Now the third case was that the acceptance has been given on the bill of exchange, and then afterwards the drawer has endorsed that bill to some third person. He has transferred that bill to his creditor. That is called third party. So now if the bill has been transferred to third party, on the due date the bill will be presented by this third party to the acceptor. And obviously if the bill get dishonored, then this third party will hire a lawyer for the legal proof as notary, and they will pay this notary in cash. But that amount they will be charging from their debtor, that is our drawer, and drawer will finally charge that amount from the acceptor. So that notary charge will be expense of acceptor of the bill only. Now see how to do journal entries in this case. So Y purchased goods for rupees 60,000 plus CGST and SGST at the rate of 9% each. So we have already done GST entries earlier. It will give you a revision here. Each on 1st June 2018 from X. So Y is purchasing goods and X is selling goods. So X will become the seller and Y will become the purchaser. And on the same date, accepted a bill payable after 3 months. So on the same date, Y has accepted a bill of exchange and the duration of the bill is 3 months. 3 days later, X endorsed the bill to Z. So after the acceptance has been given on the bill, X has transferred that bill to his creditor Z. On maturity, the bill was dishonored for non-payment, and Z had to pay rupees 200 as noting charges. So Z had paid rupees 200 as noting charges because that bill was transferred to Z. So Z will be liable to present the bill on the due date, and if the bill get dishonored, Z will be liable to hire a lawyer. 3 days after the dishonor of the bill, X made full payment to Z. 15 days after the dishonor of the bill, Y paid rupees 20,000 to X. Now the part written in red is out of syllabus now, that is renewal of bill. So that's why I have mentioned it here, but we will not be doing this part. Now record the above transaction in the books of all the three parties. So first will be journal of X, then next will be journal of Y, and one more we will be needing. Journal of Z. Now coming to journal of X. So first transaction was goods purchased and sold. So we will be recording purchase and sale transaction in the respective books. So the date of transaction is 1st June 2018. So we will mention here 2018 in all the three books, 2018, and here also 2018. And that is June 1st. June 1. Okay. Now X is selling goods and Y is purchasing goods. So you should remember that at the time of sales, we record GST as output GST. And at the time of purchase, we record GST as input GST. First thing. Then second thing, it is not mentioned here, it is within the state or outside the state, but it is clearly mentioned that CGST and SGST. So we will be recording it because obviously it will be a interstate transaction on this basis. Okay, now the entry will be goods are sold on credit, so Y debit. To sales account, to output CGST account, to output IGST account. Sorry, SGST account. SGST account. This will be the journal entry. Now goods are of rupees 60,000. So sale amount will be of 60,000 only. It may have trade discount, cash discount, all those transactions also you can get here. 60,000. Then output CGST will be 9% of 60,000. It will be 5,400. And again it will be 5,400. So the total amount will become 70,800. 70,800. Now same transaction will be purchase transaction for Y. So we will record in the books of Y. June 1. And we will record it as purchase account debit. At the time of purchase, it will become input CGST account debit, input SGST account debit to X, because he has purchased goods on credit from X. Now we will write the amounts. So purchase amount will be 60,000. Then CGST will be 9%, so it will be 5,400. SGST will be 9%, 5,400. And the amount due to X will become 70,800. 70,800. So till now we have completed this part. Y purchase goods 60,000 on 1st June from X. Now the second part of the transaction is, and on the same date accepted a bill payable after 3 months. So now the acceptance has been given and the bill will become bills receivable for X. So on June 1 again, it will be recorded as bills receivable account debit 70,800. Because no cash payment has been done, so the amount will remain same to Y, 70,800. And the same document will become bills payable for Y, June 1. It is the liability of Y because he has promised to pay. So it will become X debit 70,800 to bills payable account. $70,800. So now I have recorded bills receivable and bills payable also. Now see the question further. After 3 days, X endorsed the bill to Z. Now this transaction is between X and Z. The parties to this transaction are X and Z. Y doesn't have any role in this transaction. So Y is not having any connection. What X has done to that bill after receiving that bill, that is not a concern of that is not the concern of Y. On the due date, Y will be getting the bill from somewhere and he will be making the payment to the person who is carrying that bill. So now X has transferred this bill to Z on after 3 days. So the date of the transaction will be June 4. and on that date Z has received the bill, so debit the receiver, Z debit 70,800 to bills receivable account. To bills receivable account 70,800. Now Y will not record this transaction in any manner, but Z will record because this is the transaction between X and Z. So on June 4, it will be bills receivable account debit, bills receivable account debit 70,800 to X. He has got this bill from X. Credit the giver 70,800. So till now, if any issue is there, I have opened the chat box. You can tell me in the chat box. If it is clear, you can let me know that. Firstly, we have sold the goods. Y has purchased the goods. Then acceptance has been given. And after that, the bill has been transferred. So till here, you will find that simple journal entries are there. Just you need to do practice. If practice will be there, you will be clear about the concepts, more clear about the concepts. Okay. Now see further on maturity. So on maturity, first we will need the date of the bill. So I will calculate the due date of the bill first. See, the bill has been written on June 1. Now June 1 and the duration of the bill is 3 months. Duration of the bill is 3 months. So now July 1 month will be completed. Then August 1, second month will be completed. Then September 1, third month will be completed. And after this 3 days will be there, September 2, September 3 and September 4. So September 4 will be the due date of the bill. On September 4, this person is having the bill now. You can see the entry. Now this person will go to Y for payment, and now Y has refused the payment. So what entry he will be doing? September 4, because the payment has been denied. So bills payable will be cancelled. Bills payable account debit 70,800, and X will become his creditor again to X for 70,800. 70,800. Now this person will also record the transaction September 4. Now what transaction he will record? X will become his debtor again. X debit 70,800, and this bill receivable account will become nil. It will be cancelled to bills receivable account. To bills receivable account 70,800. Now Z will inform X that he has hired the lawyer. Now see what question is saying about the noting charges. On maturity, the bill was dishonored for non-payment and Z had to pay rupees 200 as noting charges. So now Z will pay 200 as noting charges, but that amount he will recover from X. He will demand this amount from X. So now X will become his debtor for 71,000. Then bills received will be 70,800, but he has made cash payment of 200. So he will credit his cash account also. Credit was goes out to cash account 200. Then X will also rectify the entry. X will also change the entry. Now he has to recover this 200 from, sorry, I have done this wrong entry. Okay, fine. Now X will record the dishonor. September 4, X will record the dishonor. So what will happen? Z will become his creditor and Y will again become his debtor. So Y debit to Z. Z will become his creditor. Yes, Z will become his creditor and Y will become again his debtor. He has to collect the money from Y and he has to pay money back to Z. Now earlier the amount of the transaction was 70,800. First, always try to do it in a simple manner, then go to noting charges. Now Z is demanding 200 rupees from X, so his creditor will be now 71,000. But also X will not bear that expense. That expense has been caused due to the negligence of Y. So that's why X will ask Y to pay this amount. So X will also become his debtor for 71,000. He has to collect 71,000 from Y and he has to pay back 71,000 to Z. So that will be the journal entry for the dishonor of the bill. This entry has been done by X for the dishonor. This entry has been done by Y for the dishonor. Now X will inform Y that we have paid rupees 200 to the lawyer and you need to pay that. So because Y will be paying 200 to X also, that's why he will record this as his expense. So here he will be debiting his expense, noting charges. The name of the expense is noting charges, account debit. Okay. So Y will record this as an expense and the name of the expense will be noting charges to X. Now X will become his creditor for 71,000. So you have already observed that first I do entry with the original amount and then afterwards I start adjusting noting charges respectively. Like in case of Z, I have recorded it as that he will make the cash payment to the lawyer. This is the principle that whosoever is having the bill, he will be hiring the lawyer and he will be making the cash payment. So here Z will make the cash payment and he will collect this money from X because X is his debtor. Then in case of X, Z will become his debtor, creditor now for 71,000. Earlier he was only for 70,800. And Y will also become his debtor for 71,000. He will ask Y to pay this 200 rupees extra. Then Y will record this 200 rupees as his expense, as noting charges, and he will also make X his creditor for 200 rupees extra, that is 71,000. So this way we have recorded the noting charges and dishonor of the bill. If you will do each and everything in this manner logically in a proper sequence, you will never face any difficulty. But if you will try to do it randomly, what is coming to your mind, whatever coming to mind you are writing, then it will be 90% it will be wrong. Now 3 days after the dishonor of the bill, X made full payment to Z. So 3 days after the dishonor of the bill, the date will be now September 7. September 7. Now X is making payment to Z. So Z debit 71,000 he will pay. And we can use cash account or bank account, whatever we wish to use, to cash account. So it will become 71,000. And here September 7, because Z is now X is making payment to Z. So that's why X will record this transaction and Z will record this transaction. Y will not record this transaction. So here Z will be recording it because he is receiving the payment from X now. And you can see that Z account is settled now finally. So September 7, cash account debit, 71,000 to X, cash account debit to X 71,000. So in this manner, Z has received the payment from X. You can see X account has been nullified. X was debited with 71,000 when the bill was dishonored, and now X has been credited with 71,000. In that manner, in Z's books, X account has been settled. It has become nil. Similarly, here in the books of X, Z was credited with 71,000 earlier, and now he has been debited with 71,000. So in books of X, Z account has been settled. Now the balance of Y remains.